Hi, my name is Rochelle. This is my final project. Um, First topic is learning disabilities. Some characteristics of learning disabilities. They're not all the same. Individuals with learning disabilities will have weaknesses and strengths in different areas. But the one thing that they do seem to all have in common is a low academic achievement. So for us to design the universal design, we could apply organizers. We could, um, well, I guess applying organizers would help um, them on learning, would help students with learning new tasks. They could help process the new materials and have them become more active learners. The differentiated instruction, several ways it could help a student with LD would be you could apply some time delays to the activities you're doing. You could reduce the number of problems within a worksheet or tests. You could add visual aids. You could model or demonstrate the activity that you're doing, and you could give plenty of prompts. Communication disorders, we have characteristics which would be speech and language impairments, articulation with sounds and fluency. They would have problems receiving information, understanding, and giving responses. UDL within that section would be being able to assist students with visual presentations, graphs, or organizers. We could, instead of maybe a written report, we could apply PowerPoints, taped oral reports, and for social skills, we could add more class participation within the UDL environment. Differentiated instructions, some ways that could help communication disorders would be, again, applying the graphics, organizers, and some story webs. Next one would be, let's see, emotional and behavior disorders. Some characteristics of that would be their inability to learn, their inability to build relationships or maintain them, inappropriate behavior, maybe some real physical symptoms of fear. Within the universal design, technology would be helpful within emotional behavioral disorders. It could help students to self-regulate. It also helps to keep track of data, and allows the technology also allows the students to help themselves where someone else was doing things for them. Some DI would be there could be there. From what I saw, there was two rules, and they would be begin early and use all available resources that are given to you. We could also do some strategies. Service learning strategies. These service learning strategies will help students with EBD to contribute to society. And if we, those strategies also help with conflict resolution. We need to work on negotiating skills, problem solving, and decision making, which are all skills that need to be used effectively in order for students with EBD to function as and exceed as adults. Let's see, we have ADHD. There are we have ADHD. We have an inattentive type of ADHD where they have difficulty in paying attention. They have troubles listening when someone is talking to them. They have trouble following instructions. They might have troubles finishing tasks, organizing tasks, keeping track of their supplies, and avoiding distractions. Where you have hyper, which is an impulse type, they have trouble keeping their hands and feet to themselves, staying seated, excessive talking, waiting a turn, and interrupting others. Some ways for UDL would be to apply, let's see here, go to the next slide, organizational and goal setting. So applying organization and setting goals will help keep them on task and motivated. Some differentiated instructions would be some accommodations, being able to provide accommodations to their needs, like maybe the individuals need to have a quiet space when they're working, or maybe you see that it's time that they need to have some like sensory integration or some more gross motor movement could be applied to the classroom at that time for them. So to make those accommodations and modifications for their needs would be a differentiated instruction. Intellectual disabilities. The characteristics for those would be limitations in intellectual functioning and limitations on behavioral or adaptive behavior. Universal design would be maybe applying e-readers. E-readers can, they're devices that can help students with intellectual disabilities by actually reading the text to them. This would be a good universal design for and in the use of the curriculum that is being taught. Differentiated instructions would be prompts, giving verbal prompts. That helps improve language. You could also, for the older kids, you could do self-determination instruction by the 3 phases, where the first phase is based upon the student's preference, and the second phase is designed for them to make a plan, and the third is for them to self-monitor what it is, how it is that they're learning those tasks and how that process is going. Autism, some characteristics of autism would be low social skills. They could be nonverbal. They could have repetitive behavior. They could be aggressive, and they could have some sensory integration. Some universal design would be allowing modifications that were needed to apply towards the cognitive and social decision making. Some strategies in the curriculum and self-directing strategies also could be effective with ASD. Differentiated instruction could be some ABA therapy, which is applied behavioral analysis, some discrete, I can't even say it, discrete trial training, and also some where they could do some ABA therapy or curriculum oriented tasks within their home environment. not home. I meant natural environment, which could be within their home, the community, or within their daycare. And you could provide some communication sensory. Sometimes you might need some feeding training, some social stories. All of those could be beneficial for ASDs. Multiple disabilities characteristics. They have specific characteristics related to their intellectual functioning, their adaptive skills and motor development, sensory function, and communication skills. Their UDL would be promoting devices, where these devices could be put on smartphones or iPads, and they could display the digital pictures or video clips that shows them exactly what the tasks that are being taught. DI could be some integrations with peers. They could perform task analysis, and all of the learning strategies that we've learned could be implemented with students with multiple disabilities. Physical disabilities and other impairments. Physical disability pretty much refers to mobile limitation. And other health impairments, having limited strength, vitality, or alertness, including or due to a chronic health issue or acute health problem like asthma or ADHD, epilepsy, heart conditions, etc. Those are all characteristics of another health impairment. Using simple e-text options can allow students with physical disabilities and other disabilities to have access to general education. And you could use a token economy system to help provide positive reinforcement within multiple disabilities. Traumatic brain injury is they could fall within a communication disorder, an emotional disorder, or an intellectual disability disorder. So any of those characteristics can fall within a TBI. UDL, you need to provide instructional pacing, frequent student response, processing time, and frequent feedback. DI, collaborative teaming, promotes inclusive practices and learning skills in teams. And you can use multiple choice or true and false questions. Hearing and visual. Hearing, of course, you have difficulties in speaking, reading, writing. Visual, you have limited ability to learn from the environment. The UDLs would be implementing a speech pathologist within the hearing. For the UDL for vision, you need to focus on daily living skills like orientation, mobility, and self-determination. For the DI, you need to implement ASL, which is a second language learner, and then TBIs, which help monitor or which helped adapt materials to help ensure that students have access to all the materials that is being presented in the classroom. We have the gifted. They have high intellect. They are creative. They have leadership skills. They can, and they have specific aptitude, academic aptitude. So some UDLs for that, we should provide expand on the topic, on any given topic within the classroom. And we should just provide a curriculum extension for individuals who are gifted. Within DI, we need to provide enrichment strategies. So we need to add more instruction. We need to provide challenges and more complex materials, and provide some small groups with peers.